Alright, Disney's Lion King, the 2019 version. Um, Listen, growing up, I'm pretty sure I watched this movie a few times. I was not one of those people who watched it every single day. That for me was reserved for like Toy Story and Mary Poppins and Peter Pan. Um, Regardless, I know the basic premise of this film. And so about halfway through, I started making a list of reasons because I couldn't figure it out. There was something wrong with the film. And it wasn't the story, it wasn't anything like that, but there was something wrong with it. And I finally figured it out about halfway through. And it's the CGI. The entire premise of the movie is that it is photorealistic, or however they call it. And it makes it feel like a really weird nature documentary combined with, like, you can go to those really weird restaurants that have like talking heads on the wall, like talking moose heads. It feels like that. It doesn't feel like the original. And it kind of goes back to actually one of the very first reviews that I ever did, was for Air Force One. And it's suspension of disbelief. See, when we have the cartoon version in 1994, we're more open to saying, oh, okay, lions can talk, everything kind of works as like a community sort of aspect. But then in this one, it is so real. And listen, the CGI is nothing short of amazing. What they did, incredible. The amount of work that went into it is truly breathtaking. But it shouldn't have been done. It should not have been done. That's the issue with it. There are some scary moments in The Lion King. There's the encounters with the hyenas. There's the final battle. There's actually quite a few moments where if you're a young child, you're going to probably be scared, maybe even cry. And when you're in an animated film, like the 1994 version, it's slightly less scary. Obviously, it is still scary, but it's not, oh my god, that could really be it. But in this one, it really seemed scary. And I just think, what Disney did here was a cash grab. Lion King has to be like their most popular film ever. And they said, look at this technology that we have. Look at this absolutely beautiful technology. And listen, the technology is wonderful. The issue is there was nothing new done with the story. They literally just took it. I don't know how similar it is to the original, but it's basically the same damn thing. So another thing along the lines of suspension of disbelief is the amount of celebrities involved in this. Now I get it. You have this new movie and like you're doing a remake and you're like, look at all this great technology. I'm just going to read off some of these names. John Oliver, Eric Andre, Seth Rogen, Billy Eichner, Chance the Rapper, Donald Glover, Beyonce. Those are just a few of them. Those are some of the biggest names out there today. And I get it. The original had James Earl Jones, who was Darth Vader 20 years before. And there's no surprise of it. Plenty of movies have had major celebrity casts. That's no surprise. The problem becomes when it's not the celebrity acting. The celebrity is just saying their lines. So you have Zazu, aka John Oliver, saying their lines, and you're like, oh, that's John Oliver, that's cool. And then you look and you see Zazu, and you're like, that doesn't compute. And maybe it has something to do with today's society and how much, we see each of these celebrities. How much in 1994, how often would you have seen James Earl Jones? Certainly you would have recognized the voice, but would you know the person? Yet nowadays, you say John Oliver, you say Beyonce, you say Eric Andre, you immediately can put a face to it. Something else that was not really done well was the songs. And this kind of goes in the realism option. They just kind of said, we don't feel like it. I was just reading the trivia, actually, and I guess Be Prepared was, like, had Nazi overtones, and I've heard the original, and I don't recall it having Nazi overtones, so whatever, but, you know, they did keep a shortened version in, but you just can't do that. It was incredibly weird when Timon and Pumbaa went to distract the hyenas, and I'm pretty sure that would be the scene where Timon puts on a hula skirt and starts dancing, and they start singing Be Our Guest. Disney is saying, hey, we're Disney, we get to do that, because it's the rights to be our guest. I don't even know how much those cost. I don't want to know. But it's just not... I think everyone wanted it to be good, and it just wasn't. There was nothing new. There was nothing revolutionary. There was nothing, oh my god, about it. You know, even, you know, Toy Story 3, oh, Andy's going off to college. Toy Story 4, oh, there's a new person that wants the toys. Fine. Frozen 2, oh, there's new powers. There's new, a new land, a new setting. This, and I get it, it's a remake. I absolutely get it that it's a remake, but what they did was they just chocked it full of super fancy technology, celebrities, and just literally the original script with some minor changes, I feel. I did like how they did the Mufasa scene, you know, the sky scene, in a very photorealistic way. It was fine. Again, the technology and the actual look of the thing was wonderful, but the desired result was just weird, and you just sit there and you're like, that shouldn't happen. You know, it's so realistic, and it's kind of the same thing with musicals. When you walk into a theater, or even when you watch it on film, you see a musical. Okay, I know that at some point someone is going to start singing, and then the entire stage is going to be filled with singers, and they're going to look like they're on their way to work, but they're actually going to be singing Thoroughly Modern Millie, because that's what musicals are, and we're fine with that. We're totally fine with that. But with this, we know that lions are not supposed to talk. We know that all animals are not supposed to talk, unfortunately. But that's just the truth, and I think it's just really, really confusing. Listen, I'm gonna give the 2019 version of Lion King 2 stars. Disney wanted to show off what they had, and they did it in the wrong way. You know, I think they relied on nostalgia, and they tried to combine nostalgia with technology, and it just did not work out in the way that they hoped. You know, hey, listen, I'm not knocking these technologies. If there's a film that can work like this, I fully agree, but to take something that is so deeply rooted in the Disney way in so many childhoods, especially my generation. I was -1 when the original came out, but still, it just goes to show that just because you do have the technology doesn't mean that you should. So yeah, unfortunately, 2 stars for the 2019 version of The Lion King. And hey, listen, if you disagree, put a comment down below. And other than that, thanks for watching. Want more? Check out chrismoviereviews.com. Follow me on Instagram and Reddit. Sign up for the newsletter and submit a user comment for me to read. And don't forget to like and subscribe.